Hello and welcome to this taste challenge. We have a whiskey taste challenge. I was trying to do it live, but the connection was unstable and it was obviously going to be screwed up for a while. So I'll do a recorded video, and I appreciate your comments down below. Usually people make live comments. It's not possible at this time, and it's messing up my schedule. All right, we have two American blended whiskeys, both 80 proof. This is Kessler American blended whiskey. Introduced in 1888, it is blended at a ratio of 72.5% grain, spirits, raw, unaged corn liquor, well, any kind of grain liquor, but invariably corn, to 27.5% straight whiskey aged 2 years. So 2-year aged straight whiskey. It looks a little dark for a 2-year age. Are they adding color to it? More than likely, but we can't say that for sure, but it would be the best guess. Julius Kessler introduced this American blended whiskey in 1888. He sold out around 1933, I guess, at the end of Prohibition. I don't know how he survived. Oh yeah, during Prohibition he left. He went back to Europe. He was born in Budapest, Hungary, in the Austrian Empire. Then when Prohibition started, he just scrapped everything and moved back to Austria. Not back to Austria, but not back to Hungary, but he moved to Austria, to Vienna. And then when Prohibition ended, apparently he still held the rights, so he moved back to the United States, sold the company to Seagram, and became the brand ambassador for Kessler. I read an article in Time magazine. 1935, he was 80 years old, and he was living in Cuba most of the time, but he was promoting Kessler. All right, in 1994, Seagram sold Kessler along with a bunch of other brands to the Beam Company, now Beam-Suntory. So they bottled it in Kentucky. Kessler, second best-selling American blended whiskey. All right, the best-selling American blended whiskey is, talking about Seagram's 7 Crown American blended whiskey in this beautiful brown bottle, introduced in 1934. Also 80 proof, but blended at a 75-25 blend ratio. So slightly smaller percentage of straight whiskey. No age statement, which means legally it has to be aged at least 4 years. So the straight whiskey in here is aged at least 4 years. And it doesn't give a state designation like Indiana or Kentucky. But more, it's probably, if you look at the history of Seagram's and all of that, it's probably produced and aged and bottled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, which was a Seagram's distillery until the year 2000 when Seagram's went bankrupt. Didn't go bankrupt, but they sold out before that happened, and their distilleries were acquired by other people. Midwest Grain Products owning the Lawrenceburg, Indiana distillery. There's an independent company, Florida Caribbean Distillers, owning Auburndale, Florida, the Auburndale, Florida distillery. Sazerac owning the Lewiston, Maine distillery, and so forth. All right. Yeah, Kessler is darker. All right. So I'm going to post this today. So when you see it today, that means it was recorded today. I just couldn't go live because of internet connection issues. It was playing fine. The internet was playing fine. I was listening to a radio review of Hop Slam from Bell's versus Trogue's Nugget Nectar. And you know, there was no buffering issues, no lag or anything. So I don't know. It's probably a problem on the YouTube platform side. Seagram's is lighter, but only by the slightest shade. If it was 100 points, it would be 1% lighter. That's how close they are. So I don't have to really worry about the appearance. They're both kind of chestnut color, chestnut wood. Seagram's is aged in oak, as they say on the bottle, where they're both aged in oak. So Seagram's 7 Crown, the #1 selling American blended whiskey. You can find it at any liquor store in the United States. Many stores sell it in the big handle bottles like this. I preferred the glass. A lot of stores, everybody's got the little 375 milliliter vest pocket, half size travel bottles. And you can also buy the plastic PET, polypropylene PET bottles. They're flat, and they call them the travel bottles. They fit better in a suitcase instead of the round ones. All right. So Diageo acquired it in the year 2000 when Seagram started shedding all their assets. The Bronfen family, really, who acquired Seagrams in 1926 from Joseph Seagram. Well, Joseph Seagram died, and his family didn't want to run it, so they sold it to Bronfen, this very controversial and aggressive family from Europe, but they settled in Canada, from Eastern Europe. And there's a lot of background controversy about the Bronfens and organized crime, which they even allude to on their own website. They make it a joke out of it in a way, but not really a joke. There's the heater, sorry, the furnace. This one smells more oaky and woody, and I think it's the Seagram. Seagram has a real strong bourbon flavor. If you give it to many people, I don't know about most, but many people, and you tell them, guess what type of liquor this is, they're going to think it's bourbon. And their famous concoction is the 7 and 7, 7 Crown and 7 Up. There's no television ads for Seagram 7, but you do see a lot of point of sale at stores and internet ads. And their website's kind of nice. Got a lot of highball recipes, cocktail recipes. All right. Excuse that noise, but it is winter time and it's pretty darn cold. And I only have it set to 62. It's still cycling off and on. But it'll do it less and less as the day goes on. Nut oil, almond oil, walnut oil, vanilla. Must be Kessler. Sorry for slouching over. I don't know. It's sloppy. All right. That has a much more twisty, lip-curling nut oil flavor, aberrant flavor. And even it's a higher percentage of straight bourbon. Oh, I'm sorry, straight whiskey, but you know it's bourbon. But because if you look at the Heaven Hill website videos on YouTube, they'll say like he retired, but their old brand representative was saying, well, what do you do? The host will say, what do you do when the bourbon doesn't come out correctly? Because you know it doesn't always age correctly and come out right. He said, oh, we don't waste it. We blend it off and make it one of our blends. And he laughed, ha, ha, ha. And I was thinking, ha, ha, that's not really funny because I've tasted a lot of your blends and they taste like they're blended with bourbon that didn't come out right. You say, yeah, but now your counterpoint might be, yeah, but people don't drink these things neat. They buy them and they mix them with Coca-Cola or Hawaiian Punch or chocolate milk. And they eat a pot pie, a Morton pot pie, and watch Scooby-Doo reruns. Okay. True. But on the other hand, Bacardi Rum ran an ad campaign in the late 1970s saying, you can look these ads up, saying, we know everybody mixes our rum, it's common knowledge, but they said the best way to find out if ours is really superior is to drink them neat with no ice, no flavoring, at room temperature. and they were saying for the silver or the gold. And they said it seems strange, but when you taste Bacardi against other common, like Ron Rico, for instance, rums, their claim was you're going to find Bacardi is better. They didn't say stop doing mixed drinks or highballs, cocktails, whatever. They say keep doing that, but it's the neat room temperature taste challenge is going to show you that theirs is better, and theirs is really good when you do that. This is more wood, vanilla, oak. All right, so the flavor here is standard. It's like what you would expect in basic bourbon. Elijah Craig, Evan Williams, Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, Tennessee whiskey, but still bourbon. Trying to think of some other brands. Henry McKenna, like that. It's in that world. All right, this. Sorry, my nose. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. This one you say it's kind of bourbony, and this is a very interesting point right here. But it's sort of like aberrations in the flavor, like there's like off-kilter things that are improper. And it's interesting though because the George Dickel Tennessee whiskey, which is a bourbon, but they sell as Tennessee whiskey, it has strange flavors, like the George Dickel Cascade Hollow, 3-year age. It tastes like Flintstone vitamins. Which flavor? I don't know, the grape. And then if you taste the Dickel 12, it kind of has that too. Not so predominantly, but it has that. So, and they're both owned by Diageo, so it makes you wonder if they're taking inferior Dickel, if they're not blending it in Lawrenceburg with the raw, unaged grain spirits. It's just a thought, but there seems to be a connection somehow. Somehow. It's fine. I mean, for mixing it with milk, Hawaiian Punch, or Coke. All right. To drink neat, nah, forget it. $12.99. Yeah, I bought that for $12.99. I'm doing it neat. I did taste challenges. Keeps getting beat. Never wins. I think I haven't done the challenge. I do believe, maybe I did when I had the old bottle of Kessler. I do think that the Beam's 8-star is better. You say, well, that's only aged 2 years. And they dropped it to 80-20 instead of 75-25 like it used to be. Oh, good. Yes, correct. But I think the Beam's 8-star, introduced in 1976, I think they're probably using Beam 2-year age instead of some other, like, I don't know, Jim Beam off-the-wall bourbon brands that they don't want to talk about, like Old Crow. Well, Old Crow, they don't want to talk about it. It's not listed anymore. Yeah, stuff like Old Crow that didn't come out right, or Old Granddad 81 that didn't, no, the 80 proof Old Granddad that didn't, oh, I was thinking of something else, that didn't come out right. And yeah, you know, I believe that's probably what's happening. But it's not just those. They got some other underlings. They don't talk about it. Discuss these products. But the Seagrams is like a legitimate on its own product. What percentage of people buy Seagram 7 Crown and drink it neat? 1%. I bet you it's 1% of the customers buy it and drink it neat. I believe that. 25% probably, 24% probably buy it and drink it on ice, with ice on the rocks. And 75% probably buy it and make highballs of whatever sort. Aha, it is the Seagrams. I knew it would win. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. It's number one, and it's not number one for advertising because they don't really advertise. It's not number one for price because it's certainly not the cheapest by any stretch. I can get I can get some blended whiskeys that are so cheap it'll boggle your mind. You'd be mind boggled. But it's just superior in the American blended whiskey world. Now, I'm not saying it's superior to anything else. How would it do against Irish blended whiskey? Good question. Blended Scotch whiskey? Good question. Blended Canadian whiskey? Good question. You would have to do those taste challenges. I don't like the cross style like that, but it could be something worth looking at, like the global blended whiskey challenge, Japanese, like Suntory, the Tortoise, or that one from Spain that they have on the Beam-Suntory website, or the Bastille 1789 from France. There's blended whiskeys all over the world. It could be a very interesting project, but I think here it's clear. It's very clear, very clear, very clear. Seagram's is the winner without any question. There's no like, well, if you look at the price and if you consider this and these other factors, no, 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 no. There are no other considerations. It's the clear winner, and I would say, from experience, it is the winner over any of the other American blended whiskeys. I have not yet to taste an American blended whiskey that stands up to Seagram 7 Crown. I do not work for Seagram 7 Crown, nor does anyone in my family, and I get nothing from them. They don't. Diageo sends me no free liquor, although I don't discourage that. But and nor do I expect any of it to come this way. But yeah, 7 Crown is the undisputed American champion. You say, what about Canadian blended whiskey? It's like I'm saying, I don't know. I mean, how does it interact with Crown Royal? That's their number one, which is actually the number one whiskey of any type in the United States now. Crown Royal. But when you start jumping the border and going country to country, then things get confused, and I don't want to get too confused. So yes, we closing out Kessler. Sorry I couldn't do it live, but I can't control the internet. But Kessler, I would like to say it did well, but it actually did quite poorly. Bill, the Beer Hounds Beer Reviews, was pushing for this. I did it. You know I did it. It just did not perform that well. It won no contests. It tied once, and it lost all the rest. So the price is $12.99. I mean, if you want to pay $12.99 and buy it, go ahead. It's not that much of a loss, and it is interesting in its own little peculiar, inferior way. And Seagram 7 Crown, yeah, that's definitely a recommendation. Buy it. Just buy it because it's good. Not because, oh, well, I could save. You're not going to really save money because you could buy a whole lot of bourbons. You could buy a lot of bourbons cheaper than Seagram 7 Crown. You hear what I'm saying? Straight bourbon. Zachariah Harris, Henry McKenna, Jethro T. Boots, Ancient Age. Oh, I could keep naming many straight Kentucky bourbon whiskeys. No blend. Pure. That are cheaper. And arguably better, depending on your perception thereof. But yeah, Seagram 7 Crown, the winner, the winner, the winner. And so the next American blended whiskey coming up is going to be called Iron Wheel. Another 75 to 25% blend ratio. It's only been on the market since 2019, and it's from Sazerac in the same Ancient Age bottle. And they basically put an entire essay on the bottle. But it's out there and it's in play, so we're going to look at that. So anyway, les bon temps relais. Sorry, once again, couldn't do the live, but Seagram's, as I predicted 2 weeks ago, the easy winner. The easy winner. And we're going to end this review by saying go to Lawrenceburg, Indiana, and tour the Midwest Grain Products. Huge, monstrous, and incredibly impressive, from what I've seen on the internet, distillery.